that shows me.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
You caught me drinking water.
I see you. It just took a second to switch over. I was like, where are the windows that it was showing?
Oh, that's that thing in the hallway.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to be on as a pre-screen.
I got my table.
All right, I'm going to sit for just
Yes, please.
2 minutes before we start, and then we will get rolling. Oh, there's people. Yay.
It's my brother and my dad.
Shabbat Shalom, welcome.
Yeah, yeah. How are you?
How are you, Cancer? Good to see you.
I'm a lot better than I was this time last week.
Yeah, good. Were you sick?
I was in the hospital I was in Jackson Hospital for a week.
Wow, with what?
The unfortunate remnants of a biopsy that probably should not have been done.
Oh,
A biopsy inside me.
wow.
The red one?
I don't think it's the red ones.
This is the other one.
Yep. Love Shalom.
Oh, they're new.
Yeah, we're upgraded.
We got the new ones.
Yeah, Love Shalom is becoming the new standard.
I guess those are old.
Well, no, there's weekday procedurine out there, and I think they have still some copies of what in the business we call Slim Shalom as opposed to
That's the one.
See, I actually am friends with the editor of the original Sim Shalom in 1985, Rabbi Harlow. He and I were overlapped at Camp Ramah of New England. But in 1998, they redid Siddur Sim Shalom, and because it's so much more slender, we in the business refer to it as Slim Shalom. Anyway, time to get going. I will wish everyone Shabbat Shalom, the people who are here in front of me with whom you all online overheard me talking, and Shabbat Shalom to y'all, except when I first moved to Dothan 5 years ago, I was told that it, way down there at least, to be second person really plural, I would have to say Shabbat Shalom, all y'all. And with that silliness, let us begin on page 10 of Siddur Lev Shalem, the bright red one. If those of you who are online may have access to an online version of that. And we will begin with Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh, Avarachaman, Meshoch Avdach El Ritzonach, Yarutz Avdach Kamo Ayal, Yishtachaveh Mul Hadarach, Ki Yerab Lo Yedidutach, Mino Ferzuf Vechol Tam, Harur Na'eh Ziv Ha'olam, Nafshi Cholat Batach, Ana Eilna Rafana La, Behar La Noam Zivach, Az Titchazek V'tidrape, V'hayatalach Shivchat Olam. Second half, we'll raise the key a little bit. V'tikemu rachamecha v'chusnal beino havach, ki ze kama nichsov nichsav lirot b'tiveret uzach, Anna Eli Mahmad libi Khushana ve'altit halam Higalena ufros chaviv alai Etzukat shelomach Ta'ir ez mikvodach Nagila v'nismechabach Maher ahuv kiva moed V'choneni ki me'olam Yala la la la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la la la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la la la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, la 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 la. Yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la. If there happen to be melodies that are a little bit less familiar to you tonight and tomorrow, it may be because I am using a Camp Ramah melody from back in the days when I was working at Camp Ramah. And the other possibility is it might be a Sephardic melody. As a Chazan, I have had the privilege of learning lots and lots of Sephardic prayer melodies, and knowing that the synagogue was founded by, or at this point contains both the Sephardic group from Rhodes and an Ashkenazi group from Eastern Europe, I have been trying to add some Sephardic melodies. So, on page 11 and 12, and by the way, please remember that if you are at a bit of a loss for singing straight from the Hebrew, anything that is usually sung in conservative congregations is written in red printing in the lower left corner of a page spread. So, we have 5 nature psalms, actually 6, counting Psalm 29, 95, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And they all present a concept that even nature praises God. So, let's start by singing on the top of page 11, and then we'll go do a little bit of the English back and forth, and we'll finish up on the bottom of 12. L'chuneranen al Adonai, nari al tzurish einu, bekadma fanav b'torah, bizmirot nari alo, nekarma fanav b'torah, bizmirot nari alo. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim, asher be'ado mechkerei haaretz, v'toavot harim lo, asher be'ado mechkerei haaretz, v'toavot harim lo. Let's repeat that in the English. I'll start, let us go, and invite you all to chime in at Great is Adonai. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Come then, let us bow and kneel, let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai, who formed us. For Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, sheep in God's caring hands. Now, the next little section of English is one of the periods of trouble, shall we say, during the 40 years of wandering in the desert. So let me just summarize the end of this on page 12. Arba'im shana kut bedor va'omar am to'ede ba'veim ve'hem lo yadu derachai asher nishbadi ve'api im yevon el menuchati. So there is a modern melody, which I believe is being used here on pages 13 and 14 for Psalm 96. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Baruchu Shemo Basaru Miyom Leyom Yeshuato, Saperu Vagoim Kevodo, Bechol Amim Niflotab, Gigadol Adonai, Hulal Meod, Nod Rahu, Al Kol Elohim, Ki Kol Elohei Ha'amim Elilim, Adonai Shamayim Asa, Hod Veharar Lefanav, Oz V'tif Ered B'mikdasho, Havul Adonai Mishpechot Ahamim, Havul Adonai Kavod Va'oz, Havul Adonai Kavod Shemo, Se'u Mincha, Uvo Ulechatzrota, page 14, Hishtachavu Adonai Behadrat Kodesh, Chilu Mipanav Kol Haaretz, Imru Vagoim Adonai Malach, Hafti Kontevel Baldimot, Yadin Amim B'Meisharim, Yismechu Hashamayim B'Tagel Haaretz, Yiram Hayam, Umelo Ya'aloz Sadai V'chol asher bo azir ranenu kol atzei ya'ar livnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel b'tzedek ve'amim be'emunato. And on page 15, I'll just start us off and we'll go back and share the English responsively. Adonai malach tagel haaretz yismechu im rabim manan ra'arav sevivav tzedek u'mishpat mechon kiso. Adonai reigns. Let the earth be glad, the many distant lands rejoice. Flashes of lightning illumine the land. The earth watches and trembles. Mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the Master of all the earth. Worshippers of idols should be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme should bow before Adonai. You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine. O Havei Adonai sin ur shomer nafshot chasidav miyad rishayim yasilem Orzaru ala tzadiku Yisrael lev simcha, simchu tzadikim baronai behodu lezecher kodsho. And Psalm 98 is on 17 and 18. Mizmor shiru l'Adonai shir chadash ki niflo dasa hoshi alo yemino uzro akodsho. Sing to Adonai a new song, for Adonai has wrought wonders. God's right hand and holy arm have brought deliverance. God dealt faithfully and kindly with the house of Israel. The very ends of the earth saw our God's saving power. Top of 18. Yep. So just follow along in that English while I end it on the Hebrew side. Yer bechatzot ro bekol shovar aril ibnei amelech Adonai yer am hayam umlo devel v'yosheveva narodim chauchaf yachararim yeranenu libnei Adonai gival yispot haaretz yispot tevel b'tzedek ve'amim b'meisharim. And the last one in this series on page 19 and 20 is Psalm 99. Adonai malach yirgezu amim yoshev kerubim tanut haaretz Adonai b'tzion gadol v'ramhu al kol ha'amim. Adonai reigns, nations tremble. The one enthroned amidst the cherubim makes the world quake. A sovereign strength lies in the love of justice, and you, Adonai, forged the paths of truth, judging Jacob righteously and justly. Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who called upon your divine name, called to you, and you answered them. You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the laws you gave them. You answered them, Adonai, our God. You were a forgiving God to them, even as you sometimes punish them for their transgressions. Adonai Eloheinu ata nitam el nosei yitalahem v'nokem alalilotam. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachabu lehar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. So on 21, we have Psalm 29. And just take a glance at that English. Kol Adonai appears a whole bunch of times. I think that two-word phrase appears at least 7 times, and just the name Adonai appears, I think, 18 times. That's a lot in one short little psalm. And here's the Sephardic melody that some people here have actually recognized. Mizmor leDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Helim, Havul Adonai kavod vaos, Havul Adonai kavod shemo, Hishtachavul Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim. That's the whole melody. Try joining along if you'd like, using those red words on the lower left. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai Beharar, Kol Adonai Shober Arazim, Vaishaber Adonai Et Arzei Halevanon, Vayarkidem Gemo Egel, Levanon Vesirion Gemo Ven Re'emim. Starts over. Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahabodesh, Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yecholel Ayalot, Vayechasov Ye'arot, Uvhechalo Kulo Omer Kavod. Kulo Omer Kavod. Adonai Lamabul Yashav, Vayeshev Adonai Melech Leolam, Adonai Ozle Amo Yitain, Adonai Yevarech Et Amo Vashalom. And some people add a little refrain, Et Amo, Et Amo, Et Amo Vashalom. Now on 23, 24, and 25, we have got a poem that was written by the Kabbalists. And in fact, we even know who wrote it because he put his initials as the first letter. If you just read straight down all of the verses, it says Shlomo Halevi. So this is going to move a little bit fast, but again, everything's fully transliterated in the red on the bottom of each of those 3 pages. 23. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shomor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmi anu elam yuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem libert v'litahila. Lecharodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha, ki hi mekor habaracha, merosh mikerem nusucha, sof maseh b'machshava techila. Lecharodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Mihikdash melech ir melucha, kumitzi mitocha hafecha, Rav lach shevet be'emek habacha, v'hu yachmol alayich chemla. Lecharodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. 24. Hina ari me'afar kumi livshi bigdei tivartei al yad ben Yishai beit alachmi koreva el nafshi ge'alam. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Last time with this melody. Hidorari, Hiva orech, Kumi ori, Uri, Shirda beri, Gavod Adonai alayich nigla. Last chance. Lecharodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Second melody. Lo, 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 tevo, shiva, lo, lo, לא תקלמי מה תשכחי ומה תהמי בך יחסו עניי עמי ונבנית העיר אל תהילה לך רודים לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה. Page 25, the third melody. והיו לשמחה שוסייך ורחקו כל מבלעייך אסיס עלייך אלוהי כמסוס קטן על קהלה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבלה. Same. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על ידיש פן פרסי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת nekabela. We rise and face the door of the chapel to greet the spirit of Shabbat as she comes walking into every synagogue worldwide right about the same time. Boi v'shalom adheret bala gam b'simcha u'b'tzola toch emunei am segula boi chala lechadodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela lechadodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. We're going to jump to page 27 for Psalm 92. This we know from the inscription on top, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, is actually the psalm that the Levites did in the temple. We've had independent corroboration of that from other literature. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir Le'yom HaShabbat. It is good to thank you, Adonai, to sing to your name, Most High, to proclaim your love at daybreak and your faithfulness each night.
Finger the lute, cleft the harp, let the sound of the lyre rise up.
You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork.
How wonderful are your works, subtle are your designs.
The arrogant do not understand, the fool does not comprehend this. Yes, the wicked may flourish like grass, and evildoers may blossom, only to be destroyed forever. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered.
As a wild bull raises up its horn, you raise my head high, anointed with fresh oil.
As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear this.
Righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in our God's courtyard.
In old age they remain fruitful, fresh and bountiful, proclaiming Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no flaw. And at that little red arrow on both sides, there's a beautiful choral piece for that last portion. The righteous shall flourish like the date palm. Tzadik Aramar Yifrach Kerez Balvano Niskeb Serulim Bebeit Adonai Bechasrod Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenun Besebam Tishenim Rananim Yehu Yagid Ki Yashar Adonai Tsuri Tsuri Velo Havlatabo. And on 29, for Psalm 93, which is actually the Psalm for Friday in the cycle of Psalms which were chosen for specific days of the week, I'm going to chant 29 in the Hebrew and see whether or not, as you're reading along in the English, it becomes clear how the music that I'm chanting reflects the concept of rivers rising up and roaring praise for Adonai, things like that. Adonai malak eut lavesh Adonai ozitazar abtikon devel baltimot nachon kis acha meaz meolam ata nasu narod Adonai nasu narod kolam yisu narod dochiam Mikolod maim rabbi madirim mishperei yam adir bamarom Adonai Erotecha ne'emenu me'od levetecha na'avakodesh Adonai leorech yamim. Did some of it make sense, how the music went with those words? A little bit, hopefully. Okay, we are going to go into, well, let's see. I believe it's actually been the custom here to do a very short mini sermon between the section which we just concluded, which is the preliminary part of Friday night, and the main body of the service, which is coming up. So let me wet your whistle for hopefully coming back tomorrow and hearing part of this chanted from the original Hebrew. But we have chapters 18, 19, and 20 in the complete Torah portion of Yitro. Yitro is the actual Hebrew name for, that we translate it as Jethro. That is the father-in-law of Moses. And he is a Midianite, but one of the good guys. And so in chapter 18, Yitro sees Moses running himself ragged, trying to be the adjudicator for every possible dispute that arises in the Israelite camp. And he says to Moses, what we would now say in modern English, "You're going to burn yourself out, son-in-law." So he suggests that Moses set up a judiciary, a layered judiciary, and what chapter 18 of Exodus comes up with is not all that different from what we have right here in America. So little stuff gets handled by local magistrates, and big stuff gets booted up to hopefully more knowledgeable and certainly more powerful magistrates. And Jethro's punchline was, and the stuff that's really hard, that you can save for yourself. Chapter 19 is basically a preparation of receiving the Ten Commandments in chapter 20. It is a covenant. And in fact, one of the things that we studied both during my religion major days and again as a master's in religion and at JTS, is how covenants in the Bible reflect what we've been digging up all over the Middle East, called suzerain tree covenants, where an overlord lays down the law as to what the relationship with a given vassal is going to be. So obviously God is the overlord, the Israelites are the vassals, and chapter 19 sets everything up for chapter 20. And I hope you will come back tomorrow, because what is totally wonderful and unusual about chapter 20 is that the Ten Commandments are numbered two different ways, and they have two complete sets of trope assigned to them by our ancient, that group of scholars who put chants to all of these. So if you just go through and read the entire chapter 20, it's a lot of verses. But if you come back tomorrow, you will hear the way I string together the longer commandments with a completely different set of trope, and lo and behold, we're left with 10 utterances. So I hope that that is a good summary for you, and we'll encourage you to come back and experience some of that tomorrow. And now let us go on to the main body of the service, starting on page 39A. Let me just double check 39B. Yeah, no, we're going to do 39A. Okay? So, even without a minion, right here in the room, I believe that it is our custom to rise for Baruch. Baruch hu et Adonai mevorach. Baruch Adonai mevorach leolam vaed. Please be seated. Let's read this beautiful English translation together from the middle of the page to the bottom there. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, rolling away light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night and distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzebaot is your name. That literally means Lord of hosts. A living and ever-present God, may your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. Now I'm going to repeat that at the little arrow, and you noticed when we finished Psalm 93, we switched from the major da-da-da-da-da to da-da-da-da-da. That was in anticipation of the fact that the rest of the service is going to be in the minor modality. U'ma'avir yom u'mevi laila, u'ma'avdil ben yom u'ben laila, Adonai Tzebaot shemo, El Chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ari v'aravim. On page 40, we have a melody for this entire paragraph talking about God loving us, the people Israel. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha avta Torahu mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim Oranu limadeta. Line 5. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokveinu kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu v'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam valayla Yom balayla be'ahabarecha al tasir mimenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. On 41 we have the Shema, and there is a custom to to increase your concentration on at least the first line, to put your hand just kind of shading your eyes so you can only see the book. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Now, this is regular Torah trope. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol lebavcha v'kol nafshecha v'kol meodecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinan al levanecha b'dibarta bam v'zivtecha b'veidecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uv'shardam lehod al yadecha v'hayu ledoravod b'ninecha uv'chtavta mamzuzo b'decha uv'isharecha. So let's read page 42 to ourselves. If you take a look at the bottom paragraph on 42 on the English side, if you're able to come back tomorrow, and if you choose to wear a talit, we will be kissing the fourth seat. We'll gather the fourth seat before the Shema, and we will kiss the fourth seat each time we say that word. Man tizkuru basitem et kol mitzvotai bitam kedoshim leloichem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiod lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. So let's do the prayer that includes the Michamocha on 43a and 44. Why don't we just kind of toss it back and forth by the logical places where the editors put the period. So I'll start with the first three lines. This is our enduring affirmation, binding upon us, that Adonai is our God, and there is none other, and we, Israel, are God's people. Wonderful. God places us among the living, not allowing our steps to falter, and leads us past the false altars of our enemies, exalting us above all those who hate us. As their pursuers and enemies drowned in the depths, God's children beheld the power of the divine. They praised and acknowledged God's name, as we will on page 44. Let me introduce the Michamocha. Umalchuto b'ratzon gibalu aleihem Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Yisrael elechadnu shira b'simcha rabba v'yamaru kulam Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha ner bagodes no rada hilot o seifele no rada hilot o seifele Malchut kara uvanecha bokei ayam livnei Moshe zeli anu v'yameru Adonai yimlok leolam v'ad V'ne'emar ki b'Adonai et Yaakov u'galom yad chazak mimenu Baruch Adonai ga'al Yisrael. Now, like we did for Psalm 93, let's do here on page 45. I'm going to chant the Ashkebenu, but I'm going to invite you to follow along the English. And again, hopefully it'll become clear how what I'm chanting reflects what you are reading in the English translation. Ashkebenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom V'ha'amidenu malkeinu l'chaim Ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha V'dagneinu beis hatova milefanecha V'hoshienu leman shemecha V'agein bareinu V'haser me'aleinu O yevderer v'cherev V'rav v'yagon O yevderer v'cherev V'rav v'yagon V'haser satan milvaneinu U'me'achareinu Uv'tzeil genavecha tastirenu Ki el shomreinu U'matzilenu atam Ki el melech Chanun v'rachum ara Usmor tzeitenu vo'enu L'chayim ul'shalom Me'at ve'ad olam Ufros aleinu zukat shalomecha Baruch Adonai Hapores sukat shalom aleinu Al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Some of it makes sense, how the music fit in. Okay, on 46, there's lots of melodies for B'Shamru, but I've enjoyed sharing a particularly peaceful one. See if you can pick up on this melody, and of course it's all written in the red on the other side if you need that. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat L'rorodam Berit olam Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael Ot Hileolam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz. Uvayom Hashvi Shavat Vayinafash. And with that, let's not try to do the Chatzi Kaddish without a minyan, but let us go on into the Silent Amidah. We begin that on 47, and it's our custom to do the left-hand column of 47 and 48. And then there's a paragraph about holiness on the top of 49, and then the middle stuff is all about the Shabbat. So for this we rise, and it is 47 through 51 are the 7 sections, and then there's a little meditation on 52. Okay? So let us kind of sum this whole thing up. On page 52, there's a very famous Reform cantor named Jeff Klepper, who was in the Reform Cantorial School at the exact same time I was in the Conservative Cantorial School. And the two student bodies did a little singing together. So his version of O Says Shalom in the middle of page 52, or the bottom of 52, it's the same thing. Again, it's kind of like a gentle Shabbat, peaceful version. O Says Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru, Amen. It repeats. Ose Shalom. Pardon me. Shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru. Amen. Put my whistle here. Okay, there is a little extra section which we really should have a minion if we were going to try to do that. So let's go straight to 56. For this we rise. And I was accustomed to open the articles for this. Aleinu l'sabeach l'adon ha'kol, va'egidu l'yoser v'reishit, shelo asanu k'gei ha'aratzot, v'lo zamanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo samchel k'erugaim, goraleinu k'kol hamonam, v'nagnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, l'ifnei melech, Malkei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehunu Dei Shamayim V'Yosei Haaretz, Moshav Yigral HaShamayim Imal, Shekhinah Tuzo V'Govei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Epesulado, Kakadu B'Rororo, Yeladayam V'Shevodai, Ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim u'mimal, Yol haaretz mitachat einod. Okay. Ki l'chad yikra kol perek t'shava kol shem. Ki ha'malchut shelecha hi lo me'adim lo b'kol, kakadu b'doradecha, Adonai yimlok le'olam ba'ed. V'nemar v'yadonai l'melech al kol haaretz, v'yom ha'hu yihyeh Adonai echad, u'shmo echad. Please remain standing for Kaddish. I'm going to announce the names of those who have yard sites, for whom we are observing yard sites this week. Hazel Aronov, Rose Axelrod, Isaac Cohen and Jack Cohen, Joy Don, Sam Feldman, Rose Bralover Gittenstein, Gertrude Goodman, Harry Labovitz, Lowell McManama, Maurice Schulwolf, Albert Siegel, Lillian Nana Thresher, Yontov B. Toronto, and Frank Turner. Any other names that you would like to add? Alan Berger. Okay. So maybe when Rabbi comes back, communicate that with him so that it can be put into the...
She just passed.
Oh, this is somebody who's just passed away. Oh, my. Okay, well, if this is a relative of yours, my sincere condolences. Okay. Anyway. Let's share the Kaddish on 58. And again, if you need the transliteration, it is there. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemeh rabba. B'yalama dibrachir ute. Yamlich malchute b'chaye chon. U'b'yom echon u'b'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'b'zman karib v'imru amen. Yehi Shmeh Rabba Mevarach le'alam ulal me'al maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach. Yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal. Shmeh tegudasha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran bi'alama v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shmaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, el kol Yisrael, bimru. Amen. So please be seated, and let's turn to page 62. It's traditional to end Saturday morning with Adon Olam and Friday night with Yigdal. And again, I've been able to share some Sephardic melodies. This one is probably the slightly better known one. Let me just think for a sec. Yigdal Elohim chai v'yishtabach nimsa b'einei del metziuto echad b'yen yachid Keyichudo ne'lam begamin sof le'achtuto. That's the whole melody. So, either from the Hebrew directly or using the red transliteration, try picking that up, and we'll be going through it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. Hein lo de mudaguf, ve'heinu oguf. Lo naharo chelav kedushato kadmon lekol davar asher nibra rishon v'yein rishit l'reishito hino adon olam v'chol notzar yoregedulato malchuto shefa nevuato netano Elon se segularo v'difartom Lo kambe Yisrael ke Moshe od navi Humabit et temunarom Torah remenadan le'amoel Al yad navio neman betom Lo yachar Yipael ve'lo yamir datom Le'olamim le'zularam Tzofe be'yorei yaset ha'areinu Mabi l'sov davar be'kad matom Gomel le'ish chesed gemi v'alo Notein l'rash hara k'risharo Yishlach l'kesamim meshichenu Liftot mechakiketz Yeshuatom Meidim yechayel v'rov chasto Baruch harei ad Shem tehilado Meidim yechayel v'rov chasto Baruch harei ad Shem tehilato. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us from online. Thank you for coming in person. And again, condolences on your loss. And I hope that you can consider coming back tomorrow and actually hearing the Ten Commandments. Shabbat shalom, all y'all. We're going to make Kiddush outside, so don't run away.
We'll be there.
Okay. Shabbat shalom, everybody.